used to believe the universe had chosen me for its favorite. A golden child born into a golden world, wealth, comfort, a family name made the most powerful family I knew, wrapped in silk and certainty. Then came the night that split my life into a new before and after. I had returned from my boarding school for the holidays, the mansion echoing with its usual emptiness. I never came home for the house. I came home for him, my father, the man I adored with a devotion only a child can give. But that night, he wasn't the father I knew. He staggered through the front doors long after midnight, the sharp scent of alcohol entering the room before he did. Angry, cracking like something inside him had finally snapped. You listened. I shouldn't have listened, but I did. And the truth found me anyway. In one careless, drunken outburst, he tore apart the story I had been living in. My mother, whose absence had always been explained with, came the words that would haunt me for years. You ruined everything. You took her from me. You're a monster. Each sentence landed like a blow, carving itself into the soft, unguarded parts of my 10-year-old heart. Small and silent, watching the man I loved more than anything crumble and blaming me for every broken piece. That night, the lucky place. Something else was born, a child who learned that even in the richest homes, grief can rot the foundations, and love can turn into a weapon without warning. When those words slipped from my father's mouth, I felt the world tilt beneath my feet. For a moment, I truly believed I had misheard him. My father, my hero, my anchor, the man whose approval I chased like sunlight, couldn't possibly mean what he said and hate me. Not him, not the person I loved and respected more than anyone. But he did, and he said it with a bitterness that left no room for doubt. He wished I had never been born. I'm only one to say a trip sing peg, attended the same. Everyone assumed that's how some pretend yet happened. I pretended that my heart hadn't cracked open in the shadows. But inside, a storm had begun. I needed answers. I needed to know why he said you caught at me for Zad behind my mother's death, eating away at every breath. I couldn't return to school carrying a wound I didn't understand.
Then one afternoon, the opportunity came.
The household was busy, made cars and humming was the usual chaos.
I slipped away to the one person who had never lied to me. My nanny. She had raised me since I was small. Her hands gentle, her presence steady. She was the only person who ever made me feel seen.
Nani,
Yes, my love. Do you need anything?
no, actually, are you busy?
Never for you. Tell me what you want.
I need to ask you something.
So,
Do you know how my mom died?
why do you suddenly want to know, dear?
No reason, I was just curious.
It was an accident, she said slowly. A rainy day, she went to see her friend without telling your father. You were with her, the car crashed. You survived.
I didn't speak. I couldn't. The truth settled over me like cold water. My father hated me because I lived, because I survived the accident that took his wife, because every time he looked at me, he saw the woman he lost. But what could I have done? I was a baby. How could I protect my mother when I couldn't even hold my own head up? He never asked himself that. He never tried to understand. And that day, I understood something else, something far more painful. I wasn't the luckiest girl in the world. I wasn't cherished or treasured. I was the reminder of a tragedy, an unwanted child. The daughter my father wished had died instead. That night, chin sharp enough, cars into a child's heart, I made a silent promise to myself. I would stay away from him. From that house, memories that clung to its walls like shadows. When the holidays ended, I returned to my boarding school, and I never went back home again. Not for birthdays, not for festive. Years passed like that, quiet, heavy, and strangely freeing.
Now I'm 17. People see me as a normal student, just another girl in a school uniform walking across the campus. They don't know the truth. They don't know the weight I carry or the home I left behind. They don't know that I built myself from the pieces my father shattered. But there is one thing they do know. I'm the most famous young cricketer in the women's international cricket team. The world knows my name. My bat speaks louder than my past. I'm the opening batter, the one who walks out first, the one who faces the world head on. Every time I step onto the field, under the floodlights, with thousands chanting my name, I feel something I never felt at home. I feel wanted. I feel powerful. I feel alive. It became the place where I could rewrite who I was. And I did. I became someone my father could never break again. With time, I learned how to live alone. Not suddenly, not bravely, just slowly, like a wound that stops bleeding one day without you noticing. I taught myself to forget the past, or at least to stop letting it chase me, and to love myself in small, fragile ways.
A morning run. A quiet cup of tea. The sound of a cricket ball hitting the bat. The ground became my home. Cricket became my language. Silence became my safest companion. Little by little, I learned how to forget my father. At first, I didn't understand why he ignored me, why his eyes slid past me like I was a stranger. I thought I had done something wrong. I thought if I acted out, if I became loud, silly, dramatic, maybe he would look at me again. Maybe he would remember I was his daughter. I was a spoiled girl back then. But not because I wanted luxury. I only wanted attention. His attention. His love. I never knew he hated me so deeply, so I changed. I forced myself to grow up, to become responsible, to build myself without anyone's help. For 7 years, I stayed away from him. I changed my phone number. I didn't take a single thing from home. I erased every trace of the girl who once waited at the door for her father to come home. When my cricket career finally took off, I earned my own money. I stopped touching his. But every month, my bank balance kept rising. Quietly, consistently. He was still sending money, wanted. But I couldn't throw it away either. So I sent it to an orphanage every month. If he didn't want me, at least his money could help someone who needed it.
Before all this, I was a bubble of laughter, talking to everyone, living freely, smiling without thinking. But that girl faded. I became quiet, almost invisible. I only spoke to my team and my coach. No one knew who I really was. No one knew I was the daughter of Raj Gupta, the richest man in the country. I hid my identity like a secret scar. Pretending to be normal was easier, safer, lighter. For the first time in my life, I felt like I could breathe.